Auburn's third-year players on this roster could make or break the season.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zac Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. A little bonus edition here today with our guy, Ben Taylor of Auburn Opelika this morning over at the Auburn Network family of stations. Ben, there was a narrative last year that was true. Auburn played more true freshmen than anybody else in college football, and now all of those guys who are sophomores are a crucial part of this team. No one's going to argue against that. But the third-year players on this roster could be the ones that make or break the season. I mean, you think about the guys that Hugh Freeze flipped when his first few weeks on the job were here before signing day, flipping Kayan Lee and Connor Lew and Keldrick Falk. And then you look at some of the transfers that were brought in. Jackson Arnold, third-year player. Eric Singleton Jr., third-year player. With all that being said, I still think the third-year player that Auburn needs the most out of, I'm going with Kayan Lee here just because I think the expectations are there for Singleton. He's already done it. He did it at Georgia Tech. I think he takes a natural step forward. Same with Keldrick. Keldrick is already sniffing elite status. I think natural progression gets him there. I think Kayan Lee, if he can be the guy that I think he can be, opposite Jay Crawford, because I think he's going to get more balls thrown his way than Jay Crawford. Just my guess. To me, if he can be the guy that he is capable of being, watch out.
Well, the easy hanging fruit for you to choose there would be Falk. But like you said, he's going to be drafted first round. So I don't know that that's necessarily the one, because you do need somebody that's difference maker. I kind of went in the same sense that you did, and somebody that not necessarily maybe a starter on the field. They may, who knows, depending on injury and depending on where we stand as far as the running back room is concerned, because we're still not sure if any of the incoming freshmen are going to see a lot of time. So I think there's going to be some split time between Damari and Jeremiah Cobb. So Jeremiah Cobb is my guy. And the reason being is I just think he needs more carries. He had 33 and 23. He had 29 and 24. Hey, let's get the guy to rock a little bit more and see if we can get him a little bit more involved. And I think that he can help wear down defenses. And I think this running back, the whole focus has been on wide receivers one. Well, I would go with wide receivers one, quarterback two, just because the wide receiver room is so large and everybody's talking about what super athletes we have. So it's been like wide receiver, quarterback. Okay, who's going to block for these guys? And everybody keeps kind of forgetting about the running backs. And I just think that Jeremiah Cobb could possibly be that guy that helps be solid, not put the ball on the ground, get that plus yardage every time he touches the football, and can be somebody that can, at the end of the day, you can go, that guy was a little bit more of a workhorse for him than he probably should have been.
Yeah, Jeremiah Cobb, he's so interesting in the fact that it would have made sense for him to transfer every portal window for the last year and a half.
That's another reason I'm picking him. He's staying with Auburn, so let's stay with him.
Yeah, I love that. And, so many people want to just throw everything into generalizations like, oh, these kids aren't loyal anymore. It's like, no, Auburn has a lot of guys that have been loyal. A ton. I said that about Brandon Frazier for years. And I think Cobb has been loyal. Clearly, there's a belief in what's going on, because I don't know how he could. I mean, we're not in these meetings, but as far as like snap counts and just overall chatter and just talking with other guys that he's teammates with, I'd be a little surprised if he believed that he was going to be the number one guy heading into fall camp. Some things can change, but I'd be surprised at that. So I thought every time the portal has opened, I'm like, man, I really hope we hold on to Jeremiah Cobb, and we have, which is awesome, which is awesome. And we don't know what the coaching staff sales pitch was for Cobb, if they even needed to go that direction. Maybe he was like all in regardless. But his role is interesting because in the small sample size we've seen, when he gets the ball, like there was a stretch there where every time he touched it, he scored, because there was a lot of red zone stuff. And, he would line up next to Hank Brown when the backups were in, and he would score. But I don't know. I don't really know what his game is through the lens of last year's offense because it was Jarquez Hunter, and then some Damari Alston.
Yep.
And there wasn't as much Jarquez Hunter as we wanted. And so if that running back piece of the pie of the offense stays the same, how are they going to split that up? And I don't know if anybody truly knows the answer to that.
I don't think they do, because I don't think you can automatically go, okay, it'll be 50-50 between Alston and Cobb, because you do have some fairly decent freshmen that are going to be in there that you want to see some action, and probably
Darrell Robinson from UConn.
Yep, and I keep forgetting about him too. I mean, you got Robinson from UConn coming down, so it's having those three in the room. I mean, I'm sure that's the thing is in these last couple of years, you knew Jarquez was the guy. So I think Cobb and Alston probably accepted the fact, okay, I'm not going to get the touches I want. So now that he's gone, you got to wonder if Cobb's just that loyalty staying just a little bit longer to go, okay, now's my opportunity. And as you just said, we saw him do so well when he was in there. It just, he had Hunter in front of him. And
now he has Alston in front of him. And we don't know if Darrell Robinson's in front of him or not. No. We don't know.
So that's why I think he's a key piece, because I think if Cobb has a successful year, Auburn is successful, in my opinion. Either that or they've got two running backs hurt. One of the two.
Well,
I hate to be negative like that, but
let me push back on that. What is a successful year for Jeremiah Cobb in your mind?
Well, so far he hadn't had 33 carries 2 years ago and less than 30 this past year. Then, I mean, I think that he's got to get upwards of, I think we see anywhere from 60 to 70 carries this time. His role's got to double, right?
Yeah, 29 last year and then 33 in 2023. He had 6 catches last year, 7 catches the year before.
So he gets 60 to 80 carries this year, and he gets 10 to 20 as far as receptions are concerned. So then you're looking at him touching the ball anywhere from 90 to 110 times this next year.
So Auburn's number 2 running back last year, Damari Alston, had 52 touches.
So there'd be your hopefully 60 to 8. And I don't think Damari is what Jarquez is, so I think Cobb gets more.
Yeah, so Jarquez gets 187 last year. I don't think Damari gets to that. Peyton Thorne had 112. That might go up.
Oh, with Jackson Arnold.
Jackson.
Successfully go up?
Oh, I don't know if it matters. I'm just saying as far as like overall. Yeah, I think he's a better runner than Peyton. Sure. And I think Peyton's a decent runner. So I think if he's the true number 2, that makes sense. Darrell Robinson was limited in spring, so I think that's a point in Jeremiah's favor. Sure, tough. I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. I don't know if I'm banking on it, but I'm not going to push back again on it, saying he gets 70 touches.
Yeah, I just think, looking at the exercise we were going after here, I think that I think his touches need to double, or at least not necessarily his touches. Well, yeah, his touches, because he had 6 and 7 as far as receptions were concerned, and he had 33 and 29 as far as carries.
And I would like for the receptions to go up. Honestly, yeah. I just don't know if that's really what Hugh Freeze does.
Well, not so much what Hugh Freeze does, but what if Jackson Arnold's very comfortable with dumping it to a running back out of the backfield?
Yeah, if that's his read. I get that. Jarquez had 21 catches last year. Cobb had 6. Damari had 6. So once again, like, where do those 21 receptions that Jarquez have, where do they go?
So their receptions may not have to double. Their receptions may have to triple.
If it stays perfectly even, sure.
Yeah. So he could get maybe more touches total than what I'm thinking. Yeah. I still think carry-wise, those have to double. He has to get 60 to 80 on carries.
Who else could take that 3rd-year jump? We discuss more next, right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. FanDuel's America's #1 sports book. NBA playoffs are in full swing. Hey, and go ahead and look at some of the futures. Look at some of the futures. We got some line movement, Ben Taylor.
Uh-oh.
All off season, I've been saying Auburn's favored by 1.5 against Baylor. It's moved.
It's
Auburn to 2.5 point
Two
favorite
and a
against
half.
the Baylor Bears now.
Another whole point.
Let's go. I predict this line will continue to move in Auburn's favor over the course of the summer. So head over to FanDuel right now. Put your money on the Tigers if you like that line. I like it. I think Auburn wins by more than 2.5. And if you're new to FanDuel, it's a perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If you win, you get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA and the Locked On Podcast Network. Ben Taylor, our guest with the Auburn Network family of stations. I mean, we can't talk about third-year players and not discuss the tandem of Jackson Arnold and Eric Singleton Jr.
Oh, man, I really thought you were going with Alex McPherson because he's supposed to be on the field a whole lot more this year.
I mean, you can make an argument he's one of the most important players on the team.
You could.
You really can.
You can. There's no doubt about it.
You really can. Yeah.
So there's just another one. That's just a little bonus. That's a little bonus third-year player.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that the true sophomore class, the Cam Coleman's, the Caleb Harris, Malik Blockton, all of these true sophomore guys, I'm not saying they're not important. But as far as like Auburn achieving what they want to achieve, they need these third-year guys to really, really all step up across the board.
Well, I mean, with Jackson Arnold, I mean, that people forget that he's a third-year guy, and I mean, he's leading your team. So he has to step it up because I'd venture to say it all runs through Connor, Lou, and him. Legit. Like, honestly, that's where the offense is going to run. Yeah. And so if those two are not successful and, Lou being a quarterback on the offensive line and then Jackson Arnold being the guy that's going to be basically running the team, or at least he's going to be given the reins to begin.
We hope he's running the team, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if that's what we're all assuming that's going to happen, he's got to have a big season, or else there are going to be some very unhappy fans come into November and first part of December for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love the nod to McPherson there because it does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, the guy, he's with what he's dealt with and how big of an asset he was prior to dealing with all his issues. I mean, now he's the guy that is a weapon. I mean, we saw it for years. That's a weapon. When you get inside
games, you want to be able to have the advantage when it comes to special teams. And Auburn did not have that last year, to put it kindly.
I mean, there's something to be said where I know we all get mad when we go, okay, got close to the 20, we had to take a field goal. But at some point you have to look at it and go, okay, we got close to 20, but at least we were guaranteed a field goal. Like, we have to kind of change the mindset a little bit about it. And, I said a couple of times where Hugh, and I think even Malzahn was guilty of this, running some of those guys out for 50 and 52 and 53-yard field goals was confidence killers. Whereas they did feel comfortable between that probably 25 to 40-yard range, maybe even 25 to 45-yard range. Yeah. And if you can get a guy that just feels like he's automatic between, 25 and 45 yards, Zach, that's invaluable because you roll them out there and you're like, at least we got 3 out of it.
Your whole season develops differently.
Yeah, it does.
If McPherson did, what he did 2 years ago, if he did it again last year. So
I invite everybody to do this exercise, and I haven't done it, but go back and add 6 to 9 points per game to Auburn's offense, because that's probably what the average was that they were missing out on as far as field goals, was somewhere probably around 7.5, 8 points. So if you add 6 to 9 points to every game Auburn played last year, what a difference that would have been in the year.
Sure. I mean, especially in spurts where, just it felt like drive after drive didn't, result in no points. That would have been great. Would have been great for sure. Which third-year player do you think Auburn needs the most out of next year? Continue the conversation in the comments.
Love it.
Down below. Would love to hear of you. Would love to see everybody's names. And there may have been one we missed. Let us know.
Oh, there's definitely one we missed. They'll tell us.
Yeah. Good. Tell us. And Taylor, how can people check out everything you've got going on?
AUnetwork.com. Go ahead and click on the WANI logo, and we do sports each and every morning, including Locked On Wednesdays. We have Top Button Tuesdays. We have What's Goins on Friday with Voice of Auburn High, Jacob Goins.
Sure.
Double D Mondays, one of my favorite segments coming out of the weekend with Dap himself. So come check us out. We'd love to see you.
Yep. Please like the video. Please subscribe. We'll see you next time. This has been Locked On Auburn.